Inanna Returns, Part 2 of the book, Melinar in the Multidimensional Selves. Chapter 2, The Brilliance. Inanna gazed down at her blue skin. Noting the pale, exhausted tone of her skin cells, she decided to rest for a while. Inanna was contemplating her multidimensional selves, wondering why she could not break through to them. Only last week, Olowin was murdered by his very own son. When Inanna decided to incarnate into a variety of human beings, she had no idea that the life in a human body could be so confusing and dangerous. There was something so dense about the whole experience. No wonder the human race was having such a difficult time of it. And the advent of the Kali Yuga had only exacerbated things. The Palladian civilization has always understood that the phases of creation continually take place in 4 cycles known as the ages of yugas. The first period is a golden age where wisdom and accomplishment are the rule. This phase is followed by a second age in which wisdom is replaced by ritual. The third cycle is an age of doubt. Prime Creator loses itself in its creation, and man and woman forgets their divine origin. Finally comes the 4th age, the Kali Yuga, which can be described as an age of darkness, confusion, and conflict. All the values of the first golden age are reversed. The inferior mind rules as greed and fear prevails. In the suffocating atmosphere of this Kali Yuga, Inanna's cousin Marduk and his lieutenants had cranked up the limiting, extremely low frequency electromagnetic fields, the elves, to further confuse and bewilder Earth's inhabitants. Surrounded by a virtual prison of electromagnetic waves, people are no longer able to be still and just listen to their inner heart. Rushing to nowhere, they worry, pay bills, borrow more, and sat endlessly in front of their televisions waiting for someone to give them answers. People accumulated possessions, believing their things would keep them safe from harm. The idea of the end of the world was becoming more and more popular. Chaos and confusion increased daily. In her growing frustration, Inanna hissed with her guardian dragons. The more impossible it seemed, the more determined she became to help liberate the human species. Lying down to close her eyes, Inanna allowed her mind to drift and forced herself to relax, forgetting about her multidimensional selves for a moment. A cool breeze floated across her lovely body as she thought of her home planet, Nibiru, and of the wonderful parties her great-grandmother used to give. She saw herself as a small child, stuffing exotic chocolates from Val d'Izion into her mouth. She tasted the memory. A sweet liquid filled her mouth and dribbled down her chin. She giggled. "Inanna!" a voice called to her. It was a familiar voice, but she could not quite place it. It was not any of her earth selves, nor was it one of her notorious family. "Inanna, don't you remember? Before you were born into the family of Anu? Remember a time before you were born into your lovely blue body? Before Nibiru and Earth?" Inanna furrowed her perfect eyebrows. Her thoughts formed in her mind. "You mean before I became me, Inanna? What could I have been before me?" A vision came before the eye of her mind. An infinite number of colored geometric light forms constantly changing in rapid succession. She endeavored to make the forms stay still so that she could identify even one of them, but they refused to do so. Inanna, it is me, your old mentor, Melinar. Melinar. The name was so familiar to Inanna. She stretched her consciousness. There had been another sort of experience. Shadowy memories moved into her thoughts. Melinar, my teacher. Now here was a time frequency. If Earth could be described as dense, sticky, taffy, the dimensions of Melinar was vapor and mist. Inanna pursued the vision with her focus. Occasionally, the form of a face would momentarily appear only to disappear again. The face was familiar, gentle, and kind. An old man with sparkling green eyes that reminded Inanna of her favorite emeralds. Then she remembered why she loved jewelry. The rapidly changing vision Melinar presented was like thousands of mutating cut stones shining with transparent inner light. She had once been just this form, and she remembered it quite clearly. She had once been a body of 144 geometric forms in perpetual motion known as the Brilliance. One day she had become tired of being this radiant color show of created intelligence and had decided to experiment with another life form. Melinar had been so proud of her for being brave enough to venture forth and choose the body of a female, a blue Pleiadian female to be exact. Now he was paying her a visit. Inanna felt a sweet, innocent pleasure that Melinar had thought of her. Life had been so difficult in that dimension, not at all like the reality of the squabbling, quarrelly children of Anu or the repetitious experiences of Earth. Inanna felt nostalgic. She merged with Melinar and remembered friendship, so glad he was there. Warm tears fell over her nose, reminding her where she was. Oh, Melinar, I am happy to see you again. I had forgotten all about you and the dimension of geometric forms. It is so good of you to come. I did not know how much I had missed you. Melinar replied, albeit mind to mind, Inanna, you have been busy, my dear. Inanna blushed. She supposed Melinar knew everything about her now that they had merged, actually. He must know all about her failed love life and those wars she had started down on Earth. He must have known that she was trying to help the humans by incarnating with them at various simultaneous intervals and the difficulty she was having with the task. Maybe he had come to help, but what could a geometric form know about a 20th century American female in New York City or a Celtic warrior in the 2nd century BC who made his way in the world by chopping off heads? Melinar answered her questions. Inanna, my dear, I have been following you in your adventures with great interest, and I have come to offer you my assistance. Besides, I have all the time in the world, and it looks like fun to me. Oh, fun? I too thought it would be fun. And I made the commitment to help. And when I made the commitment to help, but look at my poor selves. They are having a terrible time of it. And they never listen to me. They think they are hearing voices or that they are crazy. I am at my wit's end. I would so value any assistance you could offer me. Melinar's brilliance accelerated in their change. My dear, we must help Gracie to her mountain. We will create a safe place for her in the cedar forest where she will live in peace and become accustomed to hearing and seeing us. She will welcome us, and you will see. It will work. Between the stars and the cedars, Gracie will remember and help all the others. For the first time in a long time, Inanna laughed softly. What if only one of my selves would remember, if only one would turn to me in love and trust and allow me to help, if only I could defeat Marduk.